Hey guys, this is Gabriel Lorenzi, creator of the blog Grupo Dicas, one of the biggest travel blogs in the world, and today I am here to tell you the top 10 tips of Amsterdam. We gathered all the tips from our blogs and from all the videos we've made about Amsterdam and put together the top 10 tips that will really make a difference on your trip, guys. So stay tuned because these tips will be quick, useful, and not boring at all. Like the video, guys, subscribe to the channel because that really helps us a lot, and buckle up. Well, the dream of many tourists is to visit Amsterdam. It's one of the coolest cities in the world. It was one of the most sensational cities that we really visited. It's in our top 5 of world travel because it's a differentiated city. It's very nice and worth visiting. There is a lot to do and a lot of good tips. So we put together the top 10 tips that will help you. But if you have time later, watch also the video we made about what to do in Amsterdam, which has all the tourism sites that you can't miss, and where to stay in Amsterdam too, which shows you the best areas to stay in. Enjoy your trip. If you watch those videos, it will be more complete. First tip, the time of the year you will travel to Amsterdam. This influences a lot on your trip, both in terms of places being full or not, as well as your budget. Like any European city during the European summer, which is from July to August, prices are very high. Everything is more expensive and more crowded because it's the time when people travel there and people like to go to Amsterdam because it's a city with a lot of green, lots of parks, and they like to go in the summer to enjoy this part of the city better. So it's a little bit more expensive at the end of the year. In December it's much colder, it's winter, but many people want to go because of the New Year's Eve party, so it's also a little bit more expensive. The rest of the year is cheaper. There's a particular time of the year that's a little bit more expensive too, that's more crowded, but we highly recommend it. It's the spring, from the middle of March until the middle of May, but it's very beautiful there because there are a lot of flowers. There are the tulip fields in Keukenhof, which is one of the most beautiful in the world. We visited one of the most beautiful places really that we visited in the whole world, so we recommend it. If you like this kind of scenario, if you like flowers, if you like these landscapes, try to travel during this time because it's worth it. If you want to save money, travel in any other month other than the ones we've mentioned here. You will pay much cheaper and things will be much more empty. The second tip is to stay well located. That's where you stay in Amsterdam. This will make you enjoy the trip much more. There we ended up not using hardly any cabs, public transportation or anything because we got a very good location and we were able to do everything on foot because Amsterdam is a nice city to walk, so it's a good walk and a discovery to be walking through the streets, and every day you go to a tourist spot, try to use a different street, a different canal, because you get to know the cities really well and it's very nice. So choose well the location because it influences a lot in Amsterdam and in all the logistics. We have a video about where to stay in Amsterdam where we explain it step by step, but to summarize it for you, it's in the tourist center. It's a place where practically all the tourist attractions are, and the ones that are not are close to there. So in this little map that you are seeing, try to stay in this area, especially out of the center of this D that it forms in this park down near Volden Park, which is the biggest park in Amsterdam, and the Museum Square. This area is very good. You will be close to everything. We left in the video description a link to a personalized map that we made of this delimited region. It's already in the best hotel search engine in the world, which is the one we use, and it's the cheapest. You can see it right away. You can make a reservation, do your research, but this is the region that will allow you to do almost everything on foot, and your trip will be much easier. The third tip we give is transportation. It's related to the second tip, but the tip is do everything on foot. Try to do everything on foot. If you don't have much disposition or condition to walk a lot, don't worry because you can easily get a cab, an Uber. There is public transportation. Yes, we end up not using it, but there are buses, the cable cars that they call there that take you to the center. You can get around easily, but you don't need to rent a car. This is a tip. We love to rent a car when we travel. When we need to, we rent in places that make sense and are good, but in Amsterdam there is no need. You can do everything on foot. The fourth tip is one that we really love, is the boat trip. Amsterdam is cut by several canals, so you have a boat trip, and the tip is do it on the first day or on the second day, because you end up doing a kind of a general tour. You end up knowing the main points of the city. The guide will explain to you this is this and this is that square, this is such and such region, so you already have a general panorama, you already get acquainted with the city. So this is a good tip. Don't miss the tour and try to do it as soon as you arrive. There are group tours, which is a boat where you buy your ticket. It's much cheaper, but you go with other people and the guide will talk to you. And there is the private boat, which is a very nice experience. If you can afford a little bit more, we recommend it. We end up doing it. We were surprised when we arrived because it was a very cool boat, very good for the price. We didn't expect all that, and it turned out to be a very nice experience. So have a look. We'll leave here in the description of the video the link to our website that we always buy tickets for Amsterdam and for Europe in general, which is the place that really has the cheapest places. We always research a lot, and that's where we always buy the tickets, and there you have all the tours, excursions, tickets. In short, you buy everything. And there is this very cheap boat ride. There's the collective one, and many times there's also the private one, so check it out. The fifth tip is the parks. Enjoy the parks in Amsterdam, especially the Vodel Park. It's a huge park. It's the biggest in Amsterdam, and it's very nice. We spent about 3 days there. We spent 7 days in Amsterdam on our last trip there, so we were able to enjoy the city very much. And when we had some time left, as we stayed close to Amsterdam, we would go there, spend 2 or 3 hours. There is a cafe inside, a very nice restaurant. You can see the whole park, eat and rest, throw a towel, lie down on the grass. Enjoy this part because the parks there are really nice. The main one is Vodel Park, which is close to everything, to the museum square, to this tourist area. It's huge, but there are other smaller ones if you feel like it and have time. There is Sarfati Park. It's much smaller, but it's very nice. It's more the local people who go there. And there is the Wertheim Park, which is very close. It's next to a botanical garden of Amsterdam and the zoo that also has an aquarium, but it's a much smaller park. These ones that I'm mentioning now, they are much smaller. They are more local, but they are very nice. They are for the people who love this scenario, this experiencing of visiting the parks. But Vodel Park, you can't miss it, and take your time because you will see that's really worth it. So you can't miss this tour. It's really amazing. Oh, and people, quickly, any doubt you may have about the trip, any doubt at all, you can talk to us and we'll help you. If you want, it's even easier. Send us a message, a direct message on the social networks at @Lorenzi. It will be my pleasure to help you, and follow us there. We are always traveling around the world, trying to show these travel tips in a very cool way, and the family routine with our little ones, which are a blast. So follow us there. The sixth tip is the famous sign I'm Amsterdam, or I Amsterdam, or Amsterdam. Each one speaks one way, but it's that famous Amsterdam sign that everyone who goes there wants to take a picture of. What happens, it used to be on the museum square, which is the main square in the city, called the museum square, which is where the 3 main museums are. There is the Van Gogh one, and there are 2 others that are very important for the city. There are several cool attractions, and there was always this sign there, but now it has been removed a few years ago. The city hall removed it because they wanted to take the touristic public to other areas of the city to show that there are other cool regions, because everything was very concentrated there in the museum square. Everything was there, so people always went there, so they took it away from there. So research beforehand. A lot of people end up going there directly through blogs. There are many sites that are still outdated, so people end up going there and end up being disappointed. So you research beforehand because it moves around sometimes. Every time of the year it's in a different place. You can go to the website there. There is a website that's from Amsterdam that shows exactly where it is. The tip is to research beforehand, to not be disappointed, because the sign is no longer on the museum square and it moves around during the year, so you have to pay attention to that. The 7th tip is the cell phone. To use the cell phone abroad, you need to have a prepaid international chip. It's the easiest way to use it there. You can use the international roaming of your carrier, but it's much more expensive, unfortunately, because it would be much easier, but it's a fortune. So the tip is, we always buy a prepaid international SIM card. You can buy it there on the spot. Go to a store, to a phone company. It's usually about €5 cheaper, but we don't recommend it because you spend time traveling. You don't have your cell phone working for the first day, so talk there and to configure the whole cell phone is difficult. Anyway, it's much easier to buy beforehand over the internet. There is a very good company that gives you the option to buy a digital chip over the internet. You receive it in your email, activate it when you get off the plane. It will work easily. You have no headache at all. It's very good. The price is good. The signal is excellent. It works in all places we visit. So take a look. I'll leave the link here in the description of the video for you. That's worth it. It made our life much easier than in Amsterdam, both to walk, see the map, get around, see the opening hours of the places. The cell phone is essential anywhere in the world, and the good thing is that it works all over the world. So this package, you will buy the Euro package, and it works in all other countries. So if you're going to visit the other countries that are on your trip in Europe, you already use the same chip. And the 8th tip is a mandatory tip, so it's very important because it's a safety one. For those who don't know, almost all European countries, you are obliged to travel with an international travel insurance contracted. What is travel insurance? Travel insurance is an insurance that covers you against several things, from loss of luggage, luggage theft. There are several things about flying, flights lost. It has dental assistance, medical assistance. There are several coverages that travel insurance covers, but the main one which is required in Europe is you need to have travel insurance with a medical assistance coverage of at least 30,000 euros. That's what you need to pay attention to, and it's not expensive. To have a good travel insurance with this coverage, you will spend about 20 euros. It varies a lot because of the dollars, the weather. This is the amount we paid in our last trip. About 10 days of traveling, you pay about 20 or 25 euros. A great insurance, so it's very cheap for all the coverage it offers. Even in places that are not mandatory in Europe, we recommend that you take it. We always take it when we leave our country. We have never traveled without insurance, and there's a price comparator that's sensational. I'll leave the link here in the description of the video. It compares all the travel insurance companies and shows you the best price in all of them, so you will get the best price guaranteed. The price is very good indeed, so take a look. You will see that's not expensive. In 3 minutes you hire it and already receive the policy in your email to travel there, so everything is done fast. 9th tip, the city is near Amsterdam. A lot of people focus only on Amsterdam, but there are a lot of very nice little towns there. Do some research beforehand. Try to go to these very small towns which are not very touristy because they are beautiful sceneries. There is a windmill route which is very nice. They are little towns near Amsterdam where you will see the famous windmills, that countryside landscape which is beautiful. On the ticket website that I put here in the description, it also sells the tour that's very cool, which goes through 4 or 5 of these towns in Amsterdam. It's a full day tour. It's very nice. The scenarios are beautiful. We recommend it. It's very worthwhile. So try not to focus only on Amsterdam. Get to know the other cities in the Netherlands, which are very good too. And the 10th tip is even this one from this website, the tickets. Buy the tickets in advance because it ends up being cheaper. You don't pay the 6% IOF that you would pay there or on the European website to buy in euros. Or you also don't waste time. You don't spend time queuing there on your trip. You already travel with everything in hand. So buying in advance is always cheaper than buying on the spot. It's buying in your currency, so it's even cheaper. You will save a lot of time and money. So buy the tickets for the tours in advance, that it pays a lot. This site that I left in the description of the video is one that we use until today. It was the cheapest we found. We like to research, we like to save money, even more with the tours. And in the last trips, this is always the site that has the cheapest tickets. Actually, for all of Europe, they are very strong in Europe. So I'm going to leave it here below. Give it a search. It has the tickets for all the museums you will visit in Amsterdam. There is Anne Frank House, there is the Van Gogh Museum, there is the Rijksmuseum Museum, which I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. It's one of the most famous museums in the city. There is the boat ride, there is the Heineken Experience Museum, which is very cool. It's called Heineken Experience. You can't miss. If you like beer, and even if you don't, it's worth it because it's a very cool and different experience. Anyway, there are several cool things there for you to hire through this website. There is also a tour to Keukenhof, which is the Tulip Park, so check it out and buy everything beforehand. And the good thing is that it's a single website. You buy everything at once. You don't need to buy side by side for each specific place, so it made our life a lot easier. And that's it, guys. I hope you liked the video. If you like it, please give us a like and subscribe to our channel because that really helps us a lot. And be sure to watch the video on how to save a lot on your trip to Amsterdam. It's a step-by-step guide that we made for you to set up your trip to Amsterdam and anywhere else in Holland with the best tips, the best services, comparators, saving a lot. Your trip will be much cheaper, really. So I'll leave the video up here along with the playlist that has all the other videos from Amsterdam and the Netherlands for you to watch. guys. So thank you very much and have nice trips.